Hello everyone, welcome back to Kitchen Table TCG. My name is Louie, here today to talk to you about what I think Legend Story Studios should do in order to help the game grow in popularity in the United States of America. Let's start off this way. Nobody asked me. Nobody asked me. Anybody asked me? Nobody asked me. Nobody else is in this room. Nobody asked me, but here's the thing. On the podcast, on the May the Zoo Be With You podcast, which is a flesh and blood podcast, if you didn't know, one of the things that we've said quite a bit is that Legend Story Studio needs to do some things in America that maybe is different, with a different culture here in the United States. I think there are some different ways of things that they can be doing that maybe they aren't doing because they aren't American culture. And one of those things I think has to do with has to do with Blitz decks. And it doesn't have to be exactly Blitz decks. But the year was 2010. Louie, just a young 18-year-old out of high school, trying to pick up chicks in college and, trying to woo over the ladies and go into my college dorm room, and I'm hanging out with my friends, and my resident director comes up to me, and the RD is basically in charge of the building. He comes up to me, he's like, hey Louie, I've got this box of magic cards, and I was wondering if you could find something to do with them. And I said, I don't even know what a magic card is. And he's like, well, I thought they were playing cards. I thought I was ordering a bunch of playing cards, and instead I ordered a bunch of magic cards from this free distribution thing where you could get access to free stuff to give to college kids, poor college kids like me. I was like, all right, I'll see what I can do with it. So I got literally a box. I'm talking a huge, like a box this big. Look, this is giant. Oh my gosh, it's ripping. This giant box, a box this big, full of Magic the Gathering, pre-constructed decks. And I was like, what the heck is this? I had never played Magic the Gathering before in my life. Walked down the street or down the hallway, and my friend was like, oh my gosh, is that Magic the Gathering? I used to play Magic the Gathering all the time. Anyway, ripped up open the decks, and there were a bunch of these little, this big pre-constructed deck that was, just ability to learn how to play the game, whatever. That night, after I played my first Magic the Gathering game, I got on TCG Player and I spent $25 and made a five color kitchen table Magic the Gathering deck, and I never looked back since. That's when I was hooked in playing TCGs. And so here's my point. I think if I don't know what the LSS bank account looks like, and I think this isn't just applied to Legend Story Studios. This probably honestly applies to MetaZoo and the current place that MetaZoo's in too. But if I had $1 million in the bank and I was LSS and I was like, what could I do? And maybe the number's 100,000, maybe the number's 250,000, whatever. But if I had $1 million in the bank, what could I do to grow this game in a big way? Well, I think that we should take the $1 million, again, hypothetical amount of money, and print a bunch of free decks and give them to college kids. I mean, if you think about the current season that we're in, right now it's summer, but really pretty soon kids are going to be going back to college. And college age student, 18 to 20, is really, I think, a prime demographic for Flesh and Blood. I've talked about the demographics on my channel. Maybe it's just that I'm an old fart, but the demographics on my channel tend to be between the ages of 28 to 30. So there is a discrepancy right now where I think that we could be reaching a younger demographic. And I think that they should be able to, they should have Blitz decks or some sort of, probably Blitz decks. Honestly, I think the idea of these, we know, is these are supposed to be to help people learn how to play the game. And they should put one of these in every college student's dorm room in the entire United States. Obviously, that's a huge statement, but let's put one of these. I think I reached out to, I was talking to Mitch and to George, and I was like, hey, how much do you think it costs LSS to make one of these? And both of them thought it was probably under $1. $2, under $2 definitely, but under $1. So if they took 100,000 of these and put it in 100,000 dorm rooms, and when a college student came in and it was in their dorm room, they could be like, oh my gosh, what is this? And then they go play and they learn how to play the game. And that would help the game grow so much. And maybe it's not that, right? Maybe it's not just it pops in their dorm room. But having these things open to the network of places that order the free stuff for college kids would really do a lot to help this game grow and to jumpstart into this next era and into this next, and like this is something that a lot of organizations and a lot of companies do. They do stuff like this, and they give out stuff at Lollapalooza, or they give out stuff at conventions. MetaZoo's doing a great thing right now where they're at every convention in the United States, and like I get it, it's hard for LSS to be in every convention. I mean, like, I think LSS, I think that Flesh and Blood should be at Gen Con. Like, it's kind of frustrating that it's not. I get it though that like the staff members at LSS are in New Zealand and it's hard for them to get here and then know that they can go back. So okay, what are some other avenues of things to do? Well, here's college students going back to college after COVID. They have nothing to do. They don't know what to do. Last year, their whole college career was horrible. College, if you guys don't know anybody who was in college last year, it was horrible. They weren't allowed to do anything. They weren't allowed to meet friends. Well, here's a thing where you can meet together in the flesh and blood and learn how to play a new game. It's my video, it's my channel. I'm saying it. Obviously, I think it's a good idea, but I think it's genius. So if I was LSS, if I was thinking, what could I do to reach more people in the United States? I would reach out to whatever company gives out the Magic the Gathering decks. Channel Fireball here. So back up, add in 10 years later on in my life, I was working with a bunch of high school students as part of my job. And I had a Magic the Gathering play group of some high school kids who play Magic the Gathering, and I was responsible for that. And Channel Fireball has a system for Magic the Gathering where if you are a play group in a local school or an organization, you can reach out and they send you a box full of Channel Fireball decks and a box full of I think there was a booster box or a pre-con or something like that. There's a bunch of stuff in it. Work with Channel Fireball, set up that. Channel Fireball's making bank off the game. They want more people to be playing. Their distribution network. Anyway, I think there's a way to get this free kind of product. I'm not talking expensive stuff. I'm talking the Blitz decks. I'm talking things that don't have a lot of value, that shouldn't upset the collectors in us. People, if you're collecting these, if you're hoarding sealed decks, don't do that. If you need to buy them, go to my website. I've got it at MSRP. Anyway, I think Flesh and Blood, reaching that college demographic would be perfect. I think, I honestly think MetaZoo should do this too. I honestly think MetaZoo, why are you not, I don't know what the price is, but if you have, let's say you have millions of dollars in the bank, right? Let's say you've got, I don't know, MetaZoo just had a huge successful launch. Just say you got $25 million in the bank. Take $1 million, put out release decks, put a release deck in every single middle school or high school kid's backpack when they leave after their first day of school, and it's just gonna blow up. The whole thing, the problem with MetaZoo is there's no product left for them to buy anyway. It's not like they can go to LGS and buy them. But I think for Flesh and Blood, the demographic's different than that. I think there's a real good sense of college kids getting ready, summer's winding down, college kids coming back, looking for things to do. That first 3 weeks, 4 weeks of college, you're looking for anything. You're looking for completely anything to do. You're looking to meet friends. Those freshmen, they have no clue what's going on. They're wearing their lanyards everywhere. They have no clue. Here, sit down, play a game. Then you create little teams, right? Little pockets of people at different colleges, and you pick key colleges where that person's responsible for distributing them, or that person's responsible for teaching the game. You create you put a link on them to DM Armada's how to play video, right? You do things like that in order to help the game grow. I don't know, just a thought I had today while I was looking at, I ordered a bunch more of these because anytime the distribution says, hey, do you want product? I just say yes. I don't even think about what I'm buying. And I had a bunch of these. So anyway, hope you guys have a great day. Remember to be kind to the people around you. LSS, I don't know. I just feel like there's ways to help the game grow. And the local game store is great, and that should be the place where we play the game. But there's other ways I think to help the game grow that are gonna be different. And for me, I started playing, and I know this is a case study of just me and I'm one person, but I started playing Magic the Gathering because somebody gave me a box full of free decks. And I was like, what do I do with this? And then that's what got me to play. So hope you guys have a great day. Remember, be kind to the people around you. We'll talk to you again later.